April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, also known as Strengthening Families Month, because one of the best ways to reduce child abuse and neglect is through strengthening families.
Hi, I'm Frankie Pisuto. I'm with United Way of Cascade County, and we're here with the Pecan Task Force, Prevent Child Abuse and Neglect Task Force. And we're here today helping celebrate April, which is Strengthening Families Month. We plant pinwheels as a representation to show that every child deserves a happy and healthy childhood.
I'm Katie Isley.
And I'm Joey Isley.
And back in, I would say it started in 2020, we started the process of becoming foster parents. I am a teacher, and so every year there are kids that I just would love to take home and take care of due to their circumstances. And so fostering was something that we had kind of always thought about. And it wasn't until our good friends, they started fostering, that we were like, yeah, this is definitely something we want to do. And so actually those friends called the department for us and had a packet sent to our house. And so we filled out the paperwork, and in 2021 we became foster parents.
Yeah, and we started with just respite care and taking care of a few kids here and there for a couple weeks as they needed it. And then about 2 to 3 weeks in, we got our first semi-permanent placement. We had two siblings brought to our house, two young sisters, and then during that process found out there was an older brother as well that was in need of placement, and we decided we would take him in as well. And we had a group of 3 siblings along with our own 2 children, and they became an immediate part of our family for the foreseeable future, and continued on that journey with them for a couple of months with a lot of different experiences through that. But eventually they were reunited with biological family, and we took a couple week break at that point.
Yeah, so during our first placement, to be honest with you, anything that could go wrong did go wrong. The little girl ended up needing surgery. It was tough, but we still love those kids like they were our own, and our own 2 biological kids still to this day talk about the siblings, even though we haven't seen them since they left our home. But after that break, we got a call, and we had 2 sibling boys needing immediate placement, and so we welcomed them into our home, and we to this day have them. We got to adopt them last August, and so it was quite the process to get them adopted, and I couldn't imagine our life without them.
Yeah, we've had the 2 young boys in our home, and they kind of split between our 2 biological children in ages, and so we have 4 kids between the age of 7 and 11 years old in our home, and it creates for a lot of chaos. But I think one of the greatest parts of being a foster parent is to get to see kids that may not have had much opportunity in life get a chance to succeed. When we first got them as placement, the oldest was in kindergarten, was just entering his second quarter of kindergarten. He had already missed over 20 days of school, had the lowest test grades in everyone in the kindergarten class at that point. Reading levels, all of that were well below where they should. But by the end of that school year, he actually earned Student of the Month award. He was the highest tested for his grade in terms of his growth progress and where he was at. And you get to just see how kids, when brought into a situation that has structure and love and consistency, can really thrive, and how quickly it can turn around. You still deal with a lot of the outbursts and things that can come along with the dynamics that they've walked out of, and the trauma that they have have dealt with and may not even be aware of to some extent in their own minds, but how it has impacted them. But I think the greatest opportunity we've been given is to love them through that, because so many others wouldn't, or couldn't, and we get the opportunity to love them through that, to share, who we are as a family, who God created them to be, and how much God loves them. And I think that has been just so eye-opening to us.
Yeah, I wouldn't change our experience. Wouldn't want to live life without our two boys. But there's so many kids in Cascade County who need a home, who need placement, and maybe you're the next family that could do that. There's definitely challenges, but there's so much support in our community for fostering parents, and there's such a great community of foster parents that you can get together with and bounce ideas off of each other, just support each other, and it's a really great experience.
Yeah, I think one of the big hesitancies for us is how are we going to deal with some of these dynamics and things that come in from our outside of our home into our home, and how they impact our own children and our own family. But as Katie said, there are just so many great organizations, from Child Bridge to Opportunities Inc. to many others in our community, that are there to support you through this process. I don't believe that there's actually a lack of resources in our area for foster parents. There's a lack of knowledge of all that's out there. And so our encouragement to you is, if this is something you are interested in, is do your research, find out what is available for you through the local faith communities, through local nonprofits, through many different avenues that can be helpful, because you don't have to do this journey alone. And that's what we learned through first our friends who started adopting or fostering first, and we had the opportunity to walk alongside them. And then through our journey is that we were not the only two who cared about these kids. And so, the boys that now are part of our family permanently, they know not only that we love them and that their siblings and the home love them, but they know that there is a community around them that loves them as well.
This month, we have a couple of events planned. One is a provider training focused on domestic violence and its impacts on children. That'll be April 23rd. We have two sessions, a noon one and a 6 o'clock p.m. one here at Alliance for Youth. And then to wrap it up at the end of the month on April 29th, from 5 o'clock to 7:30 p.m., we will be doing a Strengthening Families Community Resource Fair.
And today we're out here planning pinwheels for April, which is Child Abuse Prevention.
Lots of room, lots of tables, lots of resources for families to come. Mac and cheese bar provided for the kids, gift baskets to be raffled off, and just a quick evening of community connection and fun.
Strange times, and I'd like you by my side. Keep these rough days off my